Hello everybody, welcome. So I am rebranding this channel from Crime with Celeste. I wanted to rebrand this channel and kind of talk about really whatever I wanted to, but mostly wellness and weight loss, and kind of just chit chat about, in this video specifically, my personal experience with weight loss and lifestyle changes and everything like that. So if you're interested in hearing more about my weight loss and my views on, creating a different, healthier lifestyle, not only for me, but my viewers as well, definitely subscribe. I do want to get into a little bit about my background. I'm not going to go too in depth about it. I just kind of want to talk about why I'm interested in, the fat acceptance and health at every size movement and everything like that, but not for the good reasons. So I am 22. On the internet, I do go by Celeste. I have been going on a major weight loss journey and just life transformation, I guess you could say. In December of 2023, on the 26th to be exact, actually, I decided to start changing my life, my lifestyle habits. So I have yo-yo dieted pretty much my whole life, and in childhood, I was always overweight. I remember even stories of my parents telling me they gave me, sweet tea in a sippy cup and chocolate and candies, and I was literally always an overweight child and teenager, and I went through a lot of bullying and, got called a fat ass in school, and it really did affect me. And I come from a family that is already severely overweight. My siblings growing up had a lot of weight issues. Both of my parents are morbidly obese, and my grandfather on my mom's side actually passed away from... Oh, here's Amberlynn. We're going to get into her. I'm not doing any videos on her, but I will be bringing her up because she is literally a lolcow on just the weight loss topic. But, yeah, my grandfather on my mom's side did pass away from mostly weight and health conditions related to his weight. So it's nothing new in my family to turn to food, to be overweight, to have issues with, weight and everything like that. My highest weight, which was about 2.5 years ago, was 216. And for my height, I am a short girl. I am 5'1". So that was extremely, just very, very bad. I don't know what other ways to put it. I was extremely overweight. I didn't really have any pain like you usually hear when people are overweight, but I have multiple mental health conditions. So, obviously that was one of the reasons why I turned to food. And trigger warning, I was sexually assaulted at 14. So that was another reason why I turned to food emotionally. I wanted that comfort, and that's also all I grew up seeing. I never seen, my peers going through therapy or really taking in, self-accountability on, the food aspect and activity aspect. I am going to show you guys some channels that I watch. I love Alan Roberts. I love Shakira Transformations. I watch occasionally Obese to Beast. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey. And I went from 216 back in December of 2023 to now 120. So I guess you could say it's been about a year and 6 months of my journey, and it's been really fucking difficult. I would say in the beginning was the most difficult, but now it's gotten so much easier. It's become an actual lifestyle, and you might roll your eyes. A lot of people might roll their eyes when they hear it's not, a diet, it's a lifestyle change. And honestly, it really is. It is a mindset shift. And if you don't look at it like that when you first begin, you will not get to the point of success. Like I was saying before, I yo-yo dieted all my childhood, all my teenage years, but I really didn't have a lot of knowledge about weight loss and the right foods to eat. I was kind of really eating ultra processed foods and sodas and just a lot of very, very bad inflammatory foods. And I do have PCOS, and I also have an autoimmune skin disorder called hidradenitis suppurativa. So I will be honest, being diagnosed with those two conditions really, really hurt me in the beginning. Whilst, yes, I still struggle with those two health conditions and I wouldn't wish them upon anybody, they have given me the inspiration, and I've done so much research on both of the conditions enough. Having those conditions is what has made me make the changes in my life that I needed. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm thankful to have the conditions. I wish I did not. But having the conditions has also made me take care of my health in a way that I don't think I've ever would be able to without them. My parents are morbidly obese, more on my mother's side, and she really relies on pharmaceuticals. And every time she goes to the doctor, she gets diagnosed with something new related to her weight, and she's put on more medications. It's very difficult watching somebody that you love, and especially family, just have a food addiction. Food addiction is just as bad as a drug addiction or being addicted to alcohol. I obviously did not like taking pictures of myself or others taking pictures of me when I was my highest weight, even not my highest weight, just when I was, a bigger girl, a bigger child, because I hated myself. And I will be honest, unlike the health at every size girls or fat is beautiful and fat is healthy, no, I hated myself. And one of the reasons why I ate so much is because I hated life. I hated myself. And I'll give another trigger warning. I did attempt suicide in January of 2022. And that is a place that I never want to be again. I have so many regrets. I wish I could go back and change it, and I wish I could just shake myself and tell myself all of the things I know now. It is a process. I have done so much work to get to where I am today. I am very, very proud of myself, and I have worked so hard every day that I am not scared of who I am anymore. I am not scared to have my own voice. I am not scared to wear revealing clothing. I am not scared of life anymore. I actually embrace it. And there are things that I do completely differently in my life, not only for my weight loss journey to continue and to be the best it can be, but to also help with my mental health. Because when I was my heaviest, that's obviously when my mental health was the worst. And, the people in these movements don't want to admit it, that, their mental health is what drives them to, eat all this stuff and to not have any activity. And I can say losing 95 pounds has completely changed my mental health. And yes, I will always have these diagnoses that I have. My mental health conditions will never go away, but they have improved significantly. And I never want to be back where I was, ever. And knowing that my body is worth caring about. It's worth caring for. It's worth eating healthy, whole food. It's worth going and doing these rough, strenuous workouts. There are times where, no, I will take a break one day if I'm feeling really tired, or I'm on my period, or I'm about to be on my period. I will give myself some grace. But when I do my workouts, I do enjoy them. I do find a sense of happiness and stress relief in taking care of my body now. And that's something I was never able to say before. The people that don't realize that the human race has completely devolved is very scary to me. And the people that just don't care about the human race devolving in the way it has is also very frightening. And I am not going to sit here and say that I'm better than everybody just because I have lost a significant amount of weight. But I am completely better than who I used to be. I guess I can talk a little bit about my plans, like what I'm doing right now and what I started doing. So when I did start my weight loss journey in the beginning, I obviously already knew about calorie counting and everything like that just from yo-yo dieting my whole childhood and teenage years. So that is what I started with first, and I actually lost the first 20 pounds not tracking. All I did was stop drinking a lot of soda. I stopped eating, chips and, just little stuff you can think about here and there. That's how I lost the first 20 pounds. So I went from 216 to 193. And I have an app on my phone that tracks my weight loss. It's just like a little journal. You just log your weights. So I'll take screenshots of those as well, so you guys can kind of see, the dates and the progress and my up and downs in my weight. So that's how I went from 216 to 193. And then once I hit 193, and that was in January, so it was a new year. It was 2024, I'm pretty sure. I said, okay, I'm gonna start tracking my calories. And that's all I tracked in the beginning because I didn't really know anything about strength training or tracking your protein or anything like that. It was just strictly calories and drinking a lot more water. And for my activity, I would go on walks here and there. I would go swimming sometimes, and I would also do dance for cardio. So my favorite dance cardios is Grow with Joe, and I also used the Fitness Marshal. So those two creators are on YouTube, and I would do them a couple times a week. I love dancing. It's not even a workout for me. It is just complete fun. Every time I would do it, I would burn anywhere from 300 to 600 calories within 45 minutes. So it was really, really fun. It was such a great way for me to get out of the bed and put a smile on my face because, like I said, I didn't think of it as a workout. It was just a lot of fun. As time went on, I was losing weight, but I wasn't losing a lot of body fat. I was on and about, if I'm remembering correctly, I was eating about 16 to 1700 calories. And like I said, I was not tracking my protein at the time, so I was just strictly focusing on calories, eating less, putting myself in a deficit, and drinking a lot of water. And we still would be, ordering takeout, door dashing Chick-fil-A and Wendy's and, Zaxby's and just all the yummy, yummy foods. Yes, I was losing weight, but I definitely could have been doing a lot better. So fast forward to July. So from January to July, I don't remember how much weight I've lost. Like I said, I'll put in the photos and you guys can see for yourself. But once July came, I actually joined a bunch of Facebook groups for weight loss, and I was seeing a lot of women in the groups talk about weight training, resistance training, strength training, whatever you want to say, and also tracking their protein, because one of the pop, words is body recomposition. So that is what I'm in right now, and that's what I have been in for a good bit of time now. Back in July, I was not consistent with it, and I really wish I could go back and just be consistent because it is July now, so it would be a whole year of strength training. But unfortunately, it was really difficult for me mentally. I was still very depressed. I wasn't making as much progress as I wanted to because, I wasn't really trying as much as I am today. So I would probably strength train once or twice a week, but not every single week consecutively. I would take a couple weeks off because I would get discouraged. I wouldn't really be seeing a lot of progress, so it really upset me. And for a little bit there, I did stop in October of last year because in Florida here, we did have a very bad hurricane and it damaged my house almost completely to the point where I had to move literally immediately. And that was very traumatic for me, that whole experience. So that was it was a reason, but it was also an excuse to kind of get back into not eating the most unhealthy, but definitely indulging a little bit too much. And I did stop strength training completely. So I would say definitely in February of this year, I started picking strength training up and actually doing it consecutively and consistently. So I can say from February, even maybe in the beginning of January, I can even remember getting back into it. So yeah, for about 6 months now, I have been consistent with strength training. I have been consistent tracking my macros, so my calories, my protein, keeping an eye on my, how much fat I'm eating and my carbs. A lot goes into it, but it's very important for us, especially as women, to learn about these things and to educate ourselves on how to care for our bodies, especially our reproductive health. Because when I was, at my highest weight of 216, I was having a period, but it was always 3 to 6 days late. I do have PCOS, so, when I would go get blood work, my testosterone and my progesterone was through the roof. It was not healthy at all. I was dealing with unwanted facial hair growth, a lot of other, little things from that condition. My acne condition was just out of pocket. I was breaking out all the time. And even to this day, whenever I drink diet soda consecutively, not just once, but consecutively for days at a time, I have a horrible, horrible breakout. So whilst a lot of people think that switching from normal regular soda to diet soda is a good option, for some people, yes, it might be. But for me personally and a lot of other women, it is not a good option. It is best just to stay away from soda, period. Drink water, get your electrolytes. My favorite is Element. Get your sugars from natural sugars like fruit. I use monk fruit and stevia if I'm making, oatmeal or a matcha, just different things like that. It's very, very important to stay away from chemicals and inflammatory foods and bioengineered food products and just processed foods, period. If you guys really start eating whole foods and drinking water and getting in the sun for a couple hours a day, your life will completely change. And I guarantee that, because it did for me and a lot of other people as well. And weight loss, it's simple, but it is not easy. It is something that you have to adjust to. You have to change your life. And that within itself is not easy. But is it worth it? Yes. Hell yes. And this is right on cue. Some of my favorite exercises now, like I said, strength training. Sometimes no, I don't like it. It's very, taxing on the body, but it's very, very worth it. I also love walking. Obviously, it's one of the easiest things you can do. I love running. I've gotten into running again. I'm kind of on and off with running, but I absolutely love running. Like I say, dance, swim. I'm kind of here and there with Pilates. I do enjoy it, but it's also like, I'd rather do other things, to be honest. Just things like that. And I also love calisthenics. So I've been getting into my handstands. I've made so much progress with handstands and just, body weight exercises. It is just very, very fun. So really, with women, strength training is one of the best things you can do. And then also walking, but also adding other activity into your daily life that you do genuinely enjoy. I will be honest, I am a weed smoker. There are times where I will take breaks from, using marijuana, because exercising and those endorphins, same effect as smoking marijuana does for me. So, exercise has become a drug almost. It's just completely changed my life. But what also people don't understand is exercise is not, the go all be all. It is just something you can do to take care of your body, to increase your muscle mass, to, help your joints and your bones, and to look a certain way. And it's just overall healthier for your body in the long run. But for weight loss, 80% of it is your diet. So you cannot work out a bad diet. I don't care who you are. If you're eating just pure shit, processed foods, soda all day with just a drop of water, you're not doing what you should be. You need to be eating whole foods, high protein foods, high fiber foods so you stay regular, and water, water, water. And when you go to a restaurant, yeah, sure, have a soda, have a diet soda. But water should be in your diet every single day. and you should be drinking it throughout the day to stay hydrated, because a lot of people mistake hunger for thirst. So I have January 28th of 2025. My waist in inches, this is all in inches, was 27. My hips were 35. My upper thigh was 21, and my upper arm was 11. So now today, or this was July 1st, my waist was 23 and a half. My hips were 33 and a half. My thighs, my upper thighs was 20, and my arm was 10. So from my waist in January to July 1st, I have lost 3.5 inches. My hips from January to today, I have lost 2.5 inches, and then 1 inch on my thighs and my arms. So that might sound like slower progress. To me, it's perfect. I am extremely happy with my progress. I do use Caroline Gervin here on YouTube, so if some of you are looking for a trainer and working out at home, she is wonderful. This is my 4th time completing her iron series. I actually just did day 30 today, but I am very, very happy with my progress. I will continue tracking my measurements. I actually have a vacation coming up in August, so I'm really, really happy to get a new bathing suit and just new clothes. I'm also keeping track of how my clothes are fitting. Size-wise, I was an extra large at my heaviest, and now I am a small to sometimes, depending on the material, I am a small to a medium. And even certain things, I fit an extra small. And I never imagined that I would be an extra small to a small. And I'll be honest, when I was younger, yes, I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to be thin. But yeah, now I want to make my body just the healthiest temple it could be. Not only for myself, but for my future. I am dating, but for my future husband, for my future children, my future period. And if I continue going the way I am, I think by the end of this year, I will finally reach the body that I want, and I'm so fucking excited. You guys have no idea. I have worked so hard to get here, and I'm gonna show it off. And even people in my real life, close friends, even family members, are envious and will put me down, saying I need to stop losing weight. And it's frustrating, especially when you're doing it in a very healthy, mindful way. But then they don't say it to my obese family members. They don't tell them they need to stop eating, and it pisses me off. So we're gonna get into that in the future. I am so excited for this journey on this channel. I will be getting a camera, so definitely look out for the next video. If you guys have any specific compilation videos or fat acceptance or health at every size movement videos you specifically want me to watch and react to, leave them in the comments down below and we will get started. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below as well if you related to my story or if you have your own story, and I will put your comments in the next video in the beginning and kind of chit chat about the comments. I will be reading all of them. But I appreciate your view, I appreciate your time, and you are beautiful. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.